Hey everybody, what's up? Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you set some goals, and I hope you're trying to stick to them. And may God give you the power, grace, and understanding to get through and press on to what you want to do. My goal this year is to continue my weight loss and just to grow and do more of what God's told me to do. And step out and be more me and all that. So that's my resolution / goal for the year. I don't like resolutions because resolutions come and go, but goals, when you put faith and steps to them, come to pass. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the grace of God and what grace is. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this video in like one. I mean, there's no way. It's such a incomprehensible, like, awesome subject, and it's so much. The main thing is grace is defined as unmerited favor. It's a favor from God that you don't earn. It's not based on your works, your merit, your worth, or anything about you. It's totally based on Him. And grace is also defined as Jesus Christ, because He is the embodiment of grace, of unmerited favor. Because His favor and His love for us that He chose towards us, it's not about our merit. That is probably it's such a profound revelation, but yet it's so hard to grasp, because our minds can't comprehend that in Christianity it is not about works. It's not about how you can't do enough. You can't be enough. You can't read enough. You can't pray enough. You can't do nothing enough. And the thing is that God's favor towards you and God's love towards you and God's relationship towards you is not about you. And that's just, as humans, I think we have the hardest time, because our nature is me, 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 me. You know, it's all about me, all about me. You know, and it's all about Christ. It's about what Christ did on the cross for us. And it's about His sacrifice for us and what He did on the cross and living, breathing, dying for us. Seeing man fall into sin at Adam and then working this plan out to bring us back to Him. And that is grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. You know, it's but there's also a law of grace, and that's something I'm going to cover in another video, because I'm really starting to study more about that. There are some awesome books on grace. Joseph Prince is probably one of the most awesome ministers I've ever heard on the topic. Max Lucado is also fixing to come out with another book simply entitled Grace. It's going to be probably about September of 2012, I believe is what he said last night on the TV show. But when you understand God's grace, it takes the pressure of performance off of you. It takes the shame of not meeting expectations off of you. It takes condemnation and just obliterates it. And it just kind of makes you melt into the arms of God. When God looks at us, He sees the utmost love that you possibly can even quarterly comprehend. He sees the objects, meaning people, that His Son gave the utmost sacrifice for. And that love and that compassion and all that just boils over. When the grace of God is just God holding you in His hand. when you don't deserve it. It's God giving you another chance when us and ourselves don't deserve it. And that's the reason I'm saying it's not of works. It's love. It's unconditional, undeserved, unearnable. I don't really know if that's a word, but you can't earn it. You can't work enough for it. It's just free. It's just, here, I love you. Take it. Bad things happen to good people. It rains on the just and the unjust. God never said it would be easy, but He said that He'd be there with us. And it's in those hardest times of our lives when we want to throw our hands up, give up, end up, just end it and go on. In those moments when we're frustrated and we just can't stand to look in the mirror and we can't stand to go on and face another day, that something rises up in us and just says, you can do it. You can keep going. You got this. I got you. That's the love of God. I mean, that's the grace of God. And you have to forgive me because I'm looking out over my balcony and the temperature's dropping where I'm at, and these birds are just going crazy. Just last minute, because it's also supposed to rain. They're getting their food. They're grabbing their food, and that right there is the grace of God, because God's providing for those birds. And it says, that if I provide for the sparrow, how much more will I provide for you? We make Christianity harder than it is. We put so many rules and regulations on top of people, and we burden them down, and we say, okay, now that you have to be perfect, you have to do this, 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 you have to do this. Now walk. You can't walk with all that on you. You can't breathe with all that on you. And the grace of God just simply sits here. He takes all of that. He pulls it off your shoulders. He sets it on the side. And He says, I've taken care of all this for you. Now you just follow me. That's the simplest way I can put it. I mean, it's a complex thing, and I tend to make things way too complicated. That's how come I know we make things way too complicated. But the grace of God is just the fact that God loves you so much that He took all of the Old Testament law, all the Old Testament requirements, all the Old Testament, you have to do this, and thou shalt, and all, and He grouped it up, and then He went to the cross, and the blood from Him dripped over it, covered it, and He said, for any person that believes in me, I now carry this for them. He became the substitute for us. And I think that's pretty amazing. And it boggles your mind when you start to think about how much one person loves you. That when I know I've been a knucklehead, a chucklehead, and an idiot, all in the same moment and same day, and I've been rude and disrespectful, and I've just totally missed the mark of what I'm supposed to do. And then, the lady at Walmart lets me go in front of her because I'm only having like one thing. You find grace in the smallest of moments. Grace is God's unmerited favor. It's the loving good things that happen even though you don't deserve them. And even in those hard times, in those times you don't understand, when you look back and it makes sense, when it didn't make sense at the time, God's grace is there even in the hard times. I'm going to continue to put together some more on this and make it more outlined and more understandable. But I pray that God lets you get something out of this today, even if it's just a little. This is a spur of the moment video, and it's just something that was kind of overflowing out of me as I was thinking about the grace of God. And it's just, when I'm a chucklehead and I don't deserve it, God is still good to me. When everybody else gave up on me, He didn't. When everybody else cast me aside, He welcomes me in His presence. When the world turned their back on me, when my best friends have stepped away from me and I can't even, they won't answer my calls or do anything like that. You know, God's actually waiting to talk to me more than anybody. You know, there's grace and there's favor and there's love in the arms of Jesus. And if you don't get anything else from this video, I hope you get that. Grace, favor, and love with Jesus. Hope you have a good day. God bless you. Bye.